Glory to Latveria.
Greetings, my loyal subjects, and welcome back to Straight Outta Latveria.
This is not what I thought this video was gonna
leading broadcast
look like.
For 100% unbiased information. What we shall discuss today is one of the most highly requested topics Doom has received. Robert Downy Jr. My subjects, when Doom first heard of this news, I believed it to be a distasteful joke.
Why?
It was an impossibility that such a horribly moronic decision could be made. But then I remembered what it was that brought this atrocity into being. Disney. It was not good enough for them to take my likeness. No. They had to mock me by having the man who portrayed Stark and who started their pitiful franchise to be some horrid, ill-conceived version of Doom. Apparently they were not pleased with the already dreadful attempts to capture.
Yeah, we definitely weren't.
I am sure you each have your own thoughts and opinions on this casting, but that is unimportant. As you all know, the only opinion that truly matters.
First Doom from the original Fantastic Four. What was it? I believe it was only 2 movies. The first one and then Silver Surfer. Though that Dr. Doom wasn't that bad. It's just as a villain he couldn't last. Like, I mean, that's probably why they pivoted to Silver Surfer and all that type of thing in the second movie. Did it have a third movie? I don't think it ever had a third movie. It was just 2. And then when it comes to the remake, that movie was just so not it. It was just like, I don't even remember a good real moment where Dr. Doom did anything. I don't know. That whole ending and like the whole different world thing they were trying to do kind of probably took away from the whole Dr. Doom as the villain in the first place. So yeah, not it.
Is mine. And so, my subjects, let Doom show those of you who are somehow in favor of this idiocy how you are in fact incorrect.
How we incorrect? I despise the RDJ casting. I couldn't even read it all.
Long has Doom had to suffer attacks on my image. The Americans despise me. They are a jealous people, my subjects. They see the glory of Latveria in Doom, and they grow envious. They constantly portray me as some malevolent monarch, cruelly ruling over his people.
I'm not gonna lie though, this is the first video of me reacting to this YouTuber.
And wishing to destroy
his
innocent, fantastic
his whole Dr. Doom swag right now. The drip is there. The drip is definitely there. I like how he's just sitting on his throne, speaking his piece. Like he's speaking his piece. The aura is there.
Absurd.
The aura is there.
It began with Richard's first propaganda piece. A cartoon that, of course, made him the hero. This would go on for many years. Each attempt to destroy my reputation growing only more abhorrent. This was the worst of it. Until now. Disney has done the unthinkable. Robert Downy Jr. has been chosen to portray Doom out of the endless sea of actors better suited to play me. You may
Now
wonder
that's
what...
very true. If I had to pick, it would have been. It definitely. Definitely would never thought to pick Robert Downy Jr., aka Tony Stark, to play Dr. Doom. Even though the more I think about it, it can make a lot of sense. I think it will make a lot of sense. They'll make it make a lot of sense. But I just hope it doesn't take away from the fact that Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, is his own character. He has his own backstory and it's his own great thing. Like, that's the only thing I hope the whole movie does not do. I just hope that as much as it is going to connect, and it makes sense to fall in line into the whole multiverse thing. That's what it is. I just hope that they do justice by Dr. Doom, making him an actual character that stands alone. But I think that's another thing. That's another thing that messed up the previous film, the previous iterations of him. He really didn't get his standalone presence to make it be known. Okay, I'm Dr. Doom. I'm him for real. Like, I think the fact that he was always paired up with the Fantastic Four, which of course makes sense because it was done in the comic. I don't know, it just kind of was a blessing and a curse for both sides. Like, of course, when you think about Fantastic Four, you're gonna think about their villains and think about Dr. Doom properly. If you think about Dr. Doom, you're gonna think about the Fantastic Four, not knowing the bro could rip out Thanos' skeleton, and he's the king of Latveria, and all of that. Like, the fact that he's only been paired up with this type of aspect of himself takes away from the character. I mean, I'm yapping a lot, but still, like,
Doom hates this decision.
I just hope it doesn't happen again, which I don't think it will.
It was not done out of passion, not out of authenticity to who I truly am, but desperation and greed.
There's another thing. I'm my fault for pausing it, but it is a reaction. Come on now. That is another thing that I kind of do agree with. Marvel, Kevin Feige, they kind of look desperate doing this, as far as bringing RDJ back, and I don't know. It kind of like, now when you think of Doomsday, which is what the next Avengers movie will be about, and Secret Wars, as much as there's going to be a lot of great characters coming back and still continuing, it kind of feels like the whole thing is centered around Dr. Doom because it's RDJ, not because it's Dr. Doom. Kind of goes back to the old days, as far as, you had all these great characters, Captain America, Thor, all the rest of the Avengers, but we all knew it was centered around Tony Stark. It was centered around Iron Man. And now I kind of feel like it's going to do the same thing, even though he's supposed to be the villain. Greed.
Failure after failure has made them dull-minded.
Hey, now, Ant-Man was cool, man. Like, the ending, okay, I can see. Ending was kind of like, for why? Eternals, I felt like it could have did. I feel like it was just something missing about that movie. Maybe it wasn't a lot of action. Maybe it was that. I don't know.
For the once plentiful flow of capital to return after years of self-induced drought. They believe Downey to be their salvation.
It could be.
Clearly, they are idiots. All this will bring is yet another failed attempt at showing the world who I truly am. Why have Victor Von Doom? The true Victor Von Doom, when instead you can have some pale imitation. A man that has nothing to do with me. To the contrary, he is known outside of Latveria to be nearly identical to Stark, even portraying him in Marvel's little cinematic universe. Let it be known, my subjects, that Doom believes this man to be a great actor.
Yes.
I even graciously allowed one of his films to be viewed in Latveria. But to the outside world, he is known on film as the Iron Man. No matter how excellent his acting skills, that is who he is.
That is true. Like,
and to everyone.
How can we see RDJ as anything else other than Iron Man, especially being in the MCU? Like, that's his whole thing. That really what brought him back for real. And that's what made the MCU what it is. And to bring him back like this is kind of like, bro, you know how most audiences are going to look at it. But let me stop yapping. Let me hear Dr. Doom. Let me see what he got to say.
You could have hired anyone, and you went with one of the worst possible choices. You could have at the very least given the Latverian the honor of portraying their glorious leader. But then they could not turn me into yet another scheme to make money quickly. That, my subjects, is why Doom made this broadcast channel. To show the world who I truly am before they ruin my image to the public once more.
Oh, sound like Nico Bellic.
This, it has been orchestrated by one man. Richard. I know he is behind this. It is not good enough for him to be a constant annoyance. He has to manipulate everyone into believing that I am the villain. And for what? I have done nothing but try to work towards a better world. A world that is mine.
See?
It is not.
That's what you throw me off at. You say you're trying to work toward a better world, but then say a world that is yours. But that's the great thing about a villain like Doom is that they're going to make it seem like what they're trying to do for the world is with good intention. It's for a reason. You know, Thanos, even him, with the whole stones and everything he did, it kind of makes sense a little bit. Like, you know, that's the great part about good villains, that they could be psychos, but they got a reason.
It's fault that his inferior mind views my benevolent actions as villainous. But he will never learn. He is clearly obsessed with my downfall to an absurd degree, when it is he that deserves nothing. But let us return to the issue at hand. I do not want this adaptation myself to be terrible. Even though Robert was one of the most baffling actors they could have chosen, I am sure he will do as well as he possibly can with what he's given. But if anyone at this infernal company is watching this broadcast, I ask you one question. Why? Why do you think Doom has to be some gimmick to bring you the money that you so crave? You have all the resources in the world. You could have made any other decision, and chances are that it would have been better.
Could be.
But I suppose you cannot buy creativity. If this is a sign of things to come, then I believe you are doomed.
Even in this, Doom kind of got a point. Like, playing on his name just for money. Like Disney, you gon' get your cash, bro. You gon' get the bag. Not gonna lie, Doom, he got a point. You know, they playing on his name, you know, time after time. I mean, anytime they tried to bring him to the whole scene of these live action movies, it was a miss. The whole machine behind these MCU Marvel movies, it should be the best it could be. I feel like it was sort of a desperate move, especially the fact that they announced it how they did. I feel like if they would have kept it into the movie, like say we watched Doomsday, right? We think, oh, it's just Doomsday. Like, okay, let's see who he finally is when it gets to that point. And when it gets to that point and we see it looks like Tony Stark, you know how shocking that would have been to see in the movie? You would have went insane in that theater. That theater would have blew up. That would have been something big if they would have did it that way. Enough for the yap. Doom, you got good reasons. But then again, I feel like the movie could be great. I think it will be great. And yeah, hope y'all really like this reaction. It's the first one. It could be a little choppy and sloppy, whatever. Sloppy. I'm doing a lot more of these, maybe sports, films, superheroes, of course, a lot of that type of stuff. So yeah, I hope y'all stick with me and tune into the next one. See y'all 101.